thank y'all so much for coming and wanting to learn more about Alpha 101 and the Alpha Advantage. We greatly appreciate your time. We know how valuable time is, and we know many of you have spent so much time on your computers. So thank you for making the time for us. We trust and hope and believe that you will find information on this this time that we share together to benefit your business in some way or another. I'd like to invite David to share kind of the Alpha beginnings, where we're at now and where we're headed, and those things. So David Fezer, our CEO, if you wouldn't mind sharing, please.
Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Thanks for joining in, guys. It's been an amazing last 12 months. February, March, we were all in panic stations. What's going to happen? What are we going to do? And there onwards, it's just been mayhem. And I'm sure you'll agree, you've all been in the same boat. We've all had phenomenal sales growth and had to change the way we do business in many regards and many aspects. Here we are with Alpha 101 to do a bit of that. And obviously we can't do the things that we used to do and go and visit as much as we could. So now we do the Alpha 101 presentation and have that opportunity to share our products and who we are with you guys with the amazing advances of technology. So I want to share just a little bit about myself, guys, to start with, and then I'll share a little bit about the story of Alpha and where it goes. So a lot like you guys, I've had a lot of industry experience. I've been a little over 20 years in the blind manufacturing industry. I had Australia's online blind platform. I then had retail platforms. I had 5 distribution centers across New South Wales for retail. And then we expanded into manufacturing, and then we started wholesale distribution for blinds, awnings, roller shutters, and so on. And we grew and grew and grew. And 2008 global financial crisis hit, and everything was another COVID almost. So again, we had to reinvent the wheel and find new alternatives. Motorization was something that we did a lot of. Did blinds and awnings and shutters, and so everything was revolving around motorization. One of the things that I had a lot of challenges with was price point at the time. You know, when the GFC hit, everything was price sensitive, so we needed to find a low cost motor option. Hence our search to find a low cost motor option, and we found a number of companies overseas that we trialed, and one of the major companies that we worked with was a company called Wistar. We trialed them in our retail division and had very good success with them. And as we grew, the volumes grew, and we saw a niche market here where, you know, as a business model, I've always strived on perfection and wanting to deliver excellence in everything that we do. And, you know, I preach to the team, the HIT program. So it's honesty, integrity, and transparency, and to build a business model on that structure. And I know once you build that, everything resonates around that, and good things just follow and flow. So that was kind of the business model. And obviously we wanted to expand the motorization sector and have a low cost motor. We still like the European products and whatnot, but we needed to have that second tier motorization option. And our partnership with Wistar grew and grew. We saw an opportunity of a niche market that we could potentially wholesale distribute tubular motors. So we were granted exclusive rights for the Australian New Zealand market. Very quickly, with the way that we ran our business, having that experience previously, I was able to navigate the challenges that were faced. You know, like one thing that used to frustrate me when I was up on a ladder fixing a motorized blind and it wouldn't work, and I would call tech support and I would have to wait for someone to call me back for 30, 40 minutes. So little things like that, we wanted to make sure that we would change with the Alpha program. So we would make sure that, you know, no one would wait, that all of our staff could carry quality tech support, that our warranty was bigger and stronger, that the motors were much easier to program, that the whole process of ordering was simple, easy, same day dispatch, just to make motorization easy. One of the biggest challenges, I guess, for us was, you know, you're a customer, and as a customer, you would expect and deserve service. And that's something that we kind of felt that we really lacked. You know, we would spend literally hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars on tubular motors and felt we were not getting that respect that we deserved. So we really wanted to build the model on giving people that exceptional service. Moving on, Australia was doing exceptionally well. It was always a personal dream for myself and my wife to take things globally. We really wanted to take on the States, but it was a big big ask for our customer, Wistar, or our supplier, Wistar, to want to take that next level, because it's putting all your eggs in one basket. With the success that we've had in Australia, they actually in 2017 granted us exclusive rights. And I'll just share something. While that happened, it leaves me a little bit vulnerable with you guys, but I'll share it with you. So we were given exclusive rights, and we went on a family vacation to Europe, and my mother-in-law bought some mushrooms from a supermarket, and we ended up having these mushrooms, and we all ended up getting extremely sick from it, to the point that we nearly died. We had 3 other families that recently died from the same mushroom batch, and it really messed me up, made me really sick, and I was like burning toxic for 2 years. So I was in this dilemma of, what do I do with the Alpha USA? We've got exclusive rights, but I'm really sick. And then it got worse. I got more sick. I had chemical sensitivity, electromagnetic field sensitivity, and then I had a major heart attack. So I was in this major dilemma of, where do we go? What do we do? Do we really want to go down this road? But, you know, through the self-belief, through power of prayer, there was like an urging of, let's do this. And if we do it, what are we going to do with the proceeds? So my wife and I decided, if we do the North American Canadian market, let's do it to make a difference. You know, let's do the whole program to devote 100% of profit proceeds to making a difference in humanity. So that's including human trafficking, the homeless, orphan children. And that's kind of what we are doing already. We're a small group of professionals that are very, very good at what we do. We give an amazing service. I teach the guys to ensure that we respond within an hour every email, to make sure that everything's executed straight away, to make sure that we don't run out of inventory. If there is an issue, we be honest, we be transparent about it, and we fix it. So that's a little bit about how we run our business. And I know we hear from people over and over is that we've sort of brought a fresh change to the industry. So I'm going to leave it with Joseph now. That's a little bit of the Alpha story and where it's grown, and it's doing amazing things. And it's because of your support that we can do this. And Joseph, I'm going to leave it up to you, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And it's been such a pleasure to be able to be a part of the Alpha team, with everything that we have the ability to do, what we've been accomplishing, both on a business level, as well as the work that we want to do to help the world be a better place. But with many of the successes that we've had, it comes from our same-day dispatch, industry best support and service, super simple programming. My favorite part, and not in the notes, is each of our partners becomes family. We want to make sure that they succeed. We want to make sure that their families are happy, and that their team's families are happy, that their customers are happy. So it's always just that energy and that drive, that passion to really want to make sure that every level is successful. It's been such a joy to do that. Again, we greatly appreciate your time. We have many of our teammates here from Australia, Canada, and US. So starting off for us now is going to be Simon, our National Sales Manager, down under, as I like to say. So without further ado, Simon, if you wouldn't mind starting with our interior product.
Thanks for that, Joseph. Hi, everybody. So I'd like to start with introducing our internal remote control AC motors, obviously one of our primary products. Now, with many of our products, we kind of work on the basis of we try and have products that are one motor for all type products. So a lot of you, if you're accustomed to doing internal roller blinds, you would be accustomed to using perhaps a 3 Newton meter motor from a supplier, and then if that wasn't quite strong enough, then you would upgrade to a 6 Newton meter motor. But the 6 Newton meter motor would often be a different speed to the 3 Newton meter motor. So the way that we approach it is we offer a 5 Newton meter motor in Australia, or a 6 Newton meter motor, and so these motors will be capable of operating the largest roller blinds that you're going to want to reasonably operate, and they'll run at good speed. But you only need to stock one motor, and all of your motors are going to run at that same speed. Now, these motors have very smooth operation and very quiet operation, but one of the biggest benefits of them is that They are super easy to set up. The program is exceptionally simple. It's a basic 3-step programming, which I won't go into now, but if any of you are our existing customers, then I'm sure you'll agree we have pretty much the easiest programming on the market. But one of the significant benefits of our product is that the way that they program means that you don't have to plug in a motor, assign it, set that motor up, and then unplug it again, then move on to the next motor, plug it in, set it up, unplug it, and so on. So with our product, you can plug the first motor, assign your remote channel, just move on to the second motor, move on to your next channel, plug it in, assign it, and just go through and do them all one at a time. You don't need to unplug your first motor when you're starting work on your second motor, and then back at the end go through and plug all those motors back in. So it's a great time-saving feature of the way our product sets up. Now, all of our motors are also compatible with all of our remote controls. So we don't have specific remotes for this product and other remotes for other products. And of course, our great Neo app is also compatible with all of our remote control motors and receivers. Now, the WSER 40 motors also, like most of our AC motors, in fact, all of our AC motors, comes with a 3-meter or 10-foot tail, which plugs into a short little tail attached to the motor, just using a Molex connector. And obviously we do that because it allows you to use the tails to pre-wire before, while a house is under construction. And if the blind needs to be removed, for example, let's say you're having some painting done or something like that, and somebody wants to drop the blind, you can disconnect it. So that's why we do that. Now, finally, on this product, it comes with our standard 7-year replacement warranty. Now, the next motor that I'd like to speak about is our WSER D30B lithium-ion internal battery motor, which uses patent-pending cordless technology. Now, what the cordless drive is in this motor, it's basically it's a motor that is much more power efficient. I won't explain all of the technicalities of it, but it enables our motor to be super power efficient without losing operational power. Okay, now if we look at our 2 closest competitors and their battery motors, both very prominent brands in our test blind. So obviously we have tested our opposition motors, and I'm sure they have done for ours as well. Our two primary opposition motors each achieve in our test blind, which is a very substantial size, 500 complete up-down cycles from a single charge, which is not bad. But comparatively, our cordless motors achieve 750 cycles in a single charge. So we're very happy to say that your standard experience is going to be at least 12 months, but probably closer to 18 months between charges. So by far the longest lasting. Now, the other great feature, or one of the other great features about this motor, is that it is the quietest, absolutely the quietest battery motor on the market, and it may very well be the quietest motor overall. I've never heard another motor that is as silent as this product, and it's something, again, that's continuously talked about. And when we were age testing the motors as well, obviously, you want to age test a product to see how well it's engineered. In our standard substantial test blind, we actually stopped testing the motor once it had achieved 31,000 complete up-down cycles. Now, in perspective, that's 84 years worth of work. So the motor was still actually running very quiet and running perfectly well at the time. It just kind of seemed pointless to continue to test it after it's done 84 years worth of work. Now, we have 2 variants. We have a 2 Newton meter and a 3 Newton meter motor. The 2 Newton meter is going to do the overwhelming majority of blinds that it needs to do. That'll do a 3 meter by 3 meter, or if you're in the States or Canada, 10 foot by 10 foot roller blind. Also has a 7-year warranty. One last little point that I'll just mention is that the motor also comes with a little 20 centimetre or 8-inch charging tail, which plugs into the motor head. Now, if the little socket on the motor head is reachable, then there's no need to plug that in. But if it's, for example, the top motor on a double bracket, for example, then that socket might not be reachable. So we supply that tail so that you have the option, or the installer has the option at their discretion, to either plug it in or not plug it in, depending on how accessible the charging point is. But it's been a very handy feature without forcing people to have a tail kind of drooping down all of the time. Now, this motor, as I said, also has a 7-year warranty. Okay, now the next motor that I'd like to move on to is the WSE C40. Now, the WSE C40 is a 4-core electronic limits motor that is designed for use with building management systems. So if you're in the States, it might be Lutron, for example. In Australia, it would be C-bus systems, just as kind of typical systems that people would recognise. Now, the big benefit of this particular motor is that you can parallel wire it. Most motors that go on to be BMS systems or building management systems are unable to be parallel wired. So each motor requires its own wiring back to the control system, and it also requires its own relay within the control system. Now, that wiring and those relays as back-end equipment and back-end costs are very, very expensive. Now, if you have an area, for example, you might have 10 motors in it, and in that area you don't need independent operation of each individual motor, then you can simply take one relay and one power feed and loop it from motor to motor to motor. Okay, and this can save you enormous costs in terms of back-end equipment, which can absolutely help you get your bid over the line compared to other product that cannot be parallel wired. So programming of this motor is quite easy. We have a programming tool for it, which is very similar to most standard test leads, and it can also just be programmed using the little button on the motor head if you don't have a test lead. But a very simple product, great product, and has a 7-year warranty as well. The last motor that I'm going to talk about is not going to take me very long. It's our WSS40, and it's basically a very standard mechanical limits 4-core motor, also for use with building management systems or wall switches. But this motor cannot be parallel wired, but because of the nature of its design, they're an almost bulletproof type of motor. And they're a slightly more cost-effective version than the WSEC, but obviously being unable to be parallel wired, it does require its own wiring and own switches. This motor also comes with a 7-year warranty, as is standard for our product. And thank you for listening. I'll hand you back to Joseph.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Simon. We greatly appreciate that. That coreless technology has definitely set things apart and has assisted in kind of our trajectory of the growth. So it's been fun. And again, if y'all have any questions about that and how it can assist you with your business and its growth, it definitely is a game changer and can win lots of those bids that you're trying to get. Okay, so now we have over in God's country, San Antonio, Texas, we have Marvin Graham, our sales manager out there. He'll be sharing with you our exterior product in motors.
Hello, everyone. My name is Marvin Graham. I'm here to talk to you about our AC motor program. Alpha supplies motorization product for interior and exterior shading systems, roll-up shutters, and retractable awnings. All Alpha AC products have been engineered to last 25 years. They have been tested and certified to meet UL, CTIC, CSA, and FCC standards. One key feature of our AC motor program is that our power cables have a Molex Quick Connect. This allows for easy installation, and this connector also allows for different cord lengths to be used. Our programming steps are very easy, and since there is no need to find a paper clip or a need to dismantle the remote, Programming is all done from the directional buttons. We have no factory reset on the remote motors because anything you do, you can undo via the remote. Our radio-controlled non-manual override models also feature a push button on the motor head that allows for pairing of additional remotes and the ability to change the motor's travel direction. Now for our motor lineup. We stock the classic 4-wire workhorse models with and without manual override. These are our WSS and WSM models, available in 50 and 100 Newton meter. For radio-controlled non-manual override models, we have the WSER50 Universal, WSER50 Retractable, WSER60, and WSER50 OD. The WSER50 Universal with torque stop is a feature ideal for drop screens. The Universal eliminates fabric sag by applying 5% of the motor's torque in the up direction when the bottom bar has been locked. The next model, the WSER50 Retractable, is designed for awnings with cassette housings where the need to have an auto setting inlet limit is required so the housing closes tight each time. The WSER60 is also a universal model that has radio control and electronic limits. These models are available in 10, 30, 50, and 100 Newton meter. For drop screens or zip systems that require a higher level of intelligence, we have the WSER50 OD. This model has obstacle detection with 3-time sampling to strips. It also features a star head. Furthermore, it can differentiate between a fixed object or a windy condition. This feature ultimately protects the system, reduces frustration for the end user, and eliminates those nuisance service calls. We also have available the WSME 50 and 60 models that incorporate radio control, manual override, and the classic mechanical limit set. They are available in 50, 100, and 140 Newton meter. And finally, we have the WSME 50 electronic. This model is ideal for retractable awnings with a cassette housing that requires manual override. Because of the auto setting inner limit that compensates for fabric stretch, you can count on full closure of the cassette with every operation. Thank you for your time today. I will now turn this over to Dan.
Thank you, Marvin. Greetings from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, everybody. I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that I'm here. I have the privilege to speak to you today about our remote controls and wall switches. Today, I'm going to start with the Pioneer series. Our Pioneer series is a robust remote control that has a silicone rubber gasket around the outside. For lack of a better description, to me, that's like an OtterBox on your phone. Typically, this remote control would be used in the garden or a patio where it might take a little bit of abuse, and that's why that's got the protection shield around the outside. Now, the Pioneer series, as well as our other remote controls and switches, have a 66 code program, and what that means to you and me is there's over 260 million possible combinations for this remote control and to talk to the motor. Once that's programmed, it's very rare that this remote will talk to another motor that's already been programmed. If it happens, buy a lottery ticket, because that's 1 in 300 million. When we talk about the 101, the 102, and 103, these are available in a single channel, a 4-channel, and then the 103 on the bottom has an LED screen, and it is available in a 4, 8, and 16 channels, as well as a timer version. The 4T gives you the capability of setting 4 groups with on a timer. We're going to talk next about the RE110. That's our keyring remote. The keyring remote is a 1-channel controller, and what that does is it gives you capability of having basically what on a keyring, and so you program your shades in there, and when you leave the house, it's like hitting an all button. It closes all the shades that are programmed on there. Great for kids in the backpack, just saying. When the kids come home, they push the button and the screen on the garage or the patio will go up and gives them access. Now we're going to go to the Navigator series. The Navigator series is more of an elegant remote. It has a steel band around the outside. I don't know if you can see my screen, but I'm holding it up now. It has this clear acrylic back plate that screws onto the wall, and it just connects quite easily. And it's a super elegant remote control, still robust. And it's available in a 1-channel, a 5-channel, and again with the screen at 4, 8, and 16 channels. And again, we also have the timer capability on that. Now we're going to go over to the switches. The 601 and the 602 plus switches are from the Decora style. And what I love about these switches is the plate actually screws onto the wall flush, and there's no need to cut any holes in the drywall. You simply screw it on, and the antenna and everything else is incorporated right into the switch. So if you have to change the battery, you slide the switch out, leaving the plate on the wall, and you'll never have to worry about that becoming crooked or screws becoming loose ever. And then it slides back on, and you put the Decora plate right on top. Now, I don't know if you can see that well on the screen, but we've got the up, stop, and down buttons, but we also have 25, 50, and 75% open buttons. Our motors are so intelligent that you don't have to have special wiring, special motors, or anything for that. You simply push the button, and the motor will do what it's supposed to do based on the switch command. It's really great. Now, the next one we're going to talk about, I believe, is going to be our keypad. Our keypad is a 1-channel, like an all switch, and you put in your own code, a 5-digit to 16-digit code, and it's waterproof, so you can put it on the outside of the building, and you push the code, and it'll raise or lower the shades. Where this is also used is in commercial applications, like a school or a place where there's a common area that you don't want people to have access to control the shades other than somebody who's in charge. For example, you would give the teacher or the custodian the code, and they can raise or lower the shades as needed as a group. It's a great product. Next, we're going to talk about our European styling switch. This, again, is the same design as our regular switch, and it has a back plate that gets fastened to the wall, and it has a little magnet inside that actually holds the switch. Now, the switch can actually be taken out and walked around and used as a remote control, if you like. And this is available in a 1-channel, 2-channel, and with, again, the screen, an 8-channel. Between you and me, when we launched our drapery program, never heard it from me, but you can actually turn the switch sideways and show right, left, as opposed to up and down. But all that, David addressed that one later. That's it from me. Now I'm going to turn you over to my buddy Graham down under.
Hi there, I'm Graham Tunstall from Alpha Motors in Sydney, Australia. I hope you're all doing well today. I'm going to tell you about sun and wind sensors and motion sensors. So firstly, we have our sun and wind sensor, the S001, which is a solar-powered sun and wind sensor. So there are rechargeable batteries inside the wind sensor. So these are really easy to install, simply fixed to the wall, assigned to the motor, and you set up your sensitivity of your wind speeds. So there are 5 settings for wind. And then also, if you're going to use the sun sensor inside the sun and wind sensor, there are 9 settings for the sun. So obviously, by setting the wind setting, it will send the awning up or retract the awning. And with regard to the sun, if you're going to use that, it will send the awning down or out. You can disable the sun section of the sun and wind sensor. In Australia, we also have a hardwired one, which you'd have to plug into 240-volt AC power. But 99% of customers prefer to use the wireless one because of ease of installation. Very simple to install and set up. We also have for cassette awnings and folding arms, we have motion sensors. These are available in white and black. Once again, very easy to install. These are mounted on the outer bar or bottom bar, and they can be mounted underneath the bottom bar or on the inside of the bottom bar. And you set up the sensitivity of these, and these detect the shaking of the awning when the wind blows. And depending on the sensitivity, they will retract the awnings accordingly. Both these devices have a 30-minute, they send a 30-minute test signal to the motors. So for some reason, if the batteries run flat in your motion sensor or the batteries run flat in the wind sensor, the awning will retract. That way the customer will know that they need to change the batteries. To change the batteries, the customer can change their own batteries in the motion sensors as you just slide it to the left, unscrew 2 screws, and change the 2 little AAA batteries inside there. So really easy for the customer to do. And yeah, that's pretty much it for protection devices. Back to you, Joseph.
What I will be doing is going to our California local, Dwayne Ghosh, who will be sharing some of my favorite aspects of the motorization process is really smart home automation. So Dwayne, if you wouldn't mind sharing, please.
Thank you, Joseph. Appreciate you all being here for this Alpha 101 webinar. Today, I'd like to talk about an amazing product, which is the Alpha Neo app and Linkbox. It's versatile, easy to set up, and one of the most robust on the market. It's compatible with all our remote control motors, and you can control our motors anywhere in the world through an internet connection. You can control the motors individually or by groups. It does up to 30 groups and up to 8 motors per group, which amounts to an amazing total of 240 motors from this little box. It works with voice recognition like Google, Alexa, and Siri. It also works with home business management systems like Control4 and Savant. And there you have it, friends, the Alpha Neo app and Linkbox. Come and see what the buzz is all about.
Awesome, awesome. And I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed it here at the office. I enjoy it at the home. So that's one of the aspects that I greatly appreciate about what motorization is doing now, especially going into the future. With that being said, we're gonna, again, so if you have any questions, please submit them through the chat to me. I believe I should be host again. Yes, I am host again. And so submit those through there. David will have some closing remarks and then we'll transition into that. So if any of you need to jump off, we understand. So David, if you wouldn't mind.
Thank you, Joseph. Well, apologize for our little hiccup there. Obviously, like Joseph said, we're certainly not actors or we're not Hollywood stars. So we apologize for the little challenge there, but we are motorization experts and we are very good at what we do. Look, guys, obviously, that's a little bit of an intro on what we do and who we are. Obviously, we're constantly striving to be better, to develop our product. We are the #1 customer in the world with Wistar. By a long shot, we are growing rapidly together. We're a family. We develop product together. We work with our customer base to make a difference. And one of the big advantages to us is we are both private firms that are owned by ourselves, and we can pivot and make things very, very quick. So one needs a new product and something different out of the ordinary. Together, we can develop it and have it going very quickly. So there's many other things that we've done for other customers. We've done OEM branding and things like that. So we're there to accommodate and just make your motorization life easy. We invite all of you guys to please reach out to our team. You will see it is a breath of fresh air. We focus on becoming friends and best friends with everybody that we meet. You know, one thing that I learned when I had a heart attack and I got really sick was, you know, we come to this world with nothing and we leave with nothing. And it's what we do in between that really counts. And I share this with the team, you know, let's make a difference in every day that we live. Let's make a difference in everybody's life. Obviously, we want to make sure that we do have the best motors in the world. We want to make sure that we have the best service in the world that no one can even match. And obviously, you know, the team itself, I mean, the team can attest that we have an amazing group of people that work together. We have an amazing staff retention. We almost never, ever lose staff. We have an amazing platform that we work with. And, you know, for me personally and my wife, it's just, you know, it's to see where we can take it. We obviously want to make a global impact in the world, and it's fun, and we've got a great business model, a great product, a great partnership, and we just want to see where we can take it. We want to help you guys grow your business. You know, we need to pivot in this day and age where there is so many obstacles and challenges. If we don't constantly pivot and change, we fall behind. One thing that I've always strived for is to look at things that are better and more efficient and that can change the business model. And that's something that with Alpha, I couldn't say the numbers, but I'm pretty sure that we're the fastest growing motorization company in the world by a fair long shot, just because of the way we run our platform. So guys, I really want to just to thank you guys for coming on board. I can see the group of people here. We have an amazing group of talented business people, marketing specialists. You know, there's so many of you guys there, and we would love to become friends with you guys and meet, have lunch, enjoy life. You know, we share, my wife and I have been very successful in life. We share our accommodations. We have a place in Hawaii. We share to all our customers and our partners and our staff and whatnot. And same within Australia, we have a couple of places. So we just make it fun, make it a family, and, you know, take it to the next level. So thanks guys for joining in. I'm going to pass you back to Joseph. If there's any questions, Joseph will mediate through that. And thanks guys. Really appreciate you all coming on board. I hope the message was informative for you guys, and look forward to building on friendships, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and something I just want to echo with what David said is kind of his approach to business. And again, he makes everything personal, everything's family. And so if something isn't exactly to his standards, no matter if it's just a decimal off, he takes it personal, and he makes sure that everything is always the tip-top best shape that it can be when it's delivery to you, so that you're able to deliver the best product to your customers. So that it's just fun to be here, being from a large technology company before for over a decade, and coming here, it's just been really fun. It's a great challenge, and I really enjoy it, and I think everybody echoes that by their tenure here at Alpha. So we had some questions that are going to be directly contacted by the sales team. Let me see. Hi, Joseph. Will the app introduce a battery level bar percentage which will advise the customer the motor needs charging? There are some certain specifics around that technology that are patent based. We're always going to be working to update and upgrade all of our equipment so that you know, the smart home life is a lot easier. So be on the lookout for all the changes and additions in addition to different smart services that we can add. So that's always on the horizon, but we definitely have to be aware of our friends that have that technology and may own it or not. So it's in the process, but we'll see how it goes. Let's see. Oh yeah, Rory. David, I don't know if you want to speak to this one. He said, I heard you expanded to a new building in California. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, sure. So we've just acquired a new building. We've actually purchased a new building in San Bernardino. We wanted something much bigger, so we've got something 5 times bigger than what we had. I think it's just a little over 1,000 or 10,000 square feet or 1,000 square meters. So currently the team is, we've got some of our guys working there at the moment. We're polishing the floor, concrete floors, and it's going to be made ultra modern. We just want to have it all basically like an industrial ultra modern look, where it's just a glass wall, and then that separates the office between the warehouse and the factory. So we obviously want to become more and more streamlined in the US, like we are in Australia. We've had such an amazing growth trajectory in the United States. Just to give you an idea, I'll share. Last year we had about a 300% growth, so it's pretty phenomenal. And we've had to obviously keep moving forward from that. I'm not even sure how long this warehouse will be suitable, but obviously we just need to keep moving forward and keep planning forward. And it's exciting to have a really modern contemporary building for the Alpha brand to match the Australian one.
Very cool. And then Roy,
if anyone's got any more questions, just keep them coming. So that's what we're here for. So feel free to ask questions.
There's still questions coming in, and he actually asked about a showroom. So we will be working to have different areas in the warehouse that we can utilize for training, for showroom aspect or whatnot. But our biggest injury right now is warehouse space. So that's what it's going to be dedicated to, because we never want to run out of product. And we want to make sure that everybody's always able to flow as a business. Dan, this might be a question you'd like to answer. In regards to, they're asking, hi, Joseph, is there a 2 Nm hardwired motor available as well? I know that you have some products that you're going to be testing up in with our friends up north. Do you want to share a little bit about that and what your plans are?
Sure. You kind of broke up in there. What was the hardwired motor, the question?
Yeah, 2 Nm hardwired motor. So I believe you're
Oh,
going.
2 Newton meter. Okay,
Yep.
okay, yeah. Well, I'd love to show you what I have in here, but I won't right now. Yes, because it's a teaser. And we are testing it in Canada right now, and it is going to be launched very, very soon. Right now, it's the same quietness as the battery motor. It acts the same. The controls are the same. We're going to finalize the testing and the pricing very, very shortly. I would say in the next 6 to 8 weeks.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. And then Mr. Tran, you had some questions come up. You asked about two-way communication and position of blind on the app. It's not something we currently do right now. Again, there's different specifics behind the development of that kind of has kept us at bay, but we're always going to be working to update that. So again, the end user will have the most seamless experience that they can. And Marvin, this one's for you.
Can I just add in that, Joseph, for a
Yes,
second?
please, please.
There is development going on at the moment for the bidirectional. So that's all I'll say for now.
Got you. More teasers. I love it. I love it. Any advice to those entering motorization to their product line? Simon, you want to add anything to that one? You want to answer that one? Any advice for somebody entering motorization to their product line?
Yeah, certainly. Well, the first thing, obviously, I would say is that I couldn't recommend a motor to do that with any higher than I could recommend Alpha Motors, obviously. I guess the thing to look out for is if you're going to take a motor and you're going to introduce it into your product line, be sure that that motor is the best of its type at the best kind of pricing. So if we look at Alpha's history going back a little ways, when we were sort of first starting in Australia, most of our early on success was actually with external product, because people who were selling external product like zip systems and things like that tended to be afraid to sell motorization, and they didn't want to talk about it to their customers, and they would only kind of answer questions about it if they were asked. And the reason for that is the cost of it, because it would add high hundreds of dollars very often to the cost of the awning. So people were afraid to tell their customers what that motor costs. But on the other hand, they were afraid to sell or promote inexpensive motors, because typically there had always been reliability problems. So you had like a double-edged sword. You either went for an affordable motor that was not of good quality, or you went for a quality motor that was unaffordable to most people. So it's almost a rock and a hard place situation. So when we came along, because of our exceptional pricing compared to what was primarily European offerings back then, people were cautious and they would dip the toe in the water and so on, and try our product, usually on the idea of, if somebody doesn't want to pay for what was at the time a commonly known European product. But once they'd actually had a little bit of experience and they'd sold a few of the motors, the confidence level got much, much higher. And people started to understand that they now had access to a product that was at least equal quality to all of the expensive European motors that they'd been previously selling, but it was at a price that they could actively promote motorization to their customers. So if I was going to say anything about introducing motors to your range, is add a motor that can do that for your product. Don't add a motor that is pretty much pricing itself out of the range respective to your customer base, and obviously make sure that your motor stands up in terms of the quality of the product. And the thing I love most about Alpha is that it does both, and very, very few motorization products do that. It's the best of all worlds.
I love it. And then a quick one for you, Graham. I'm going to ask you to unmute, so if you'll do that. The question is, hopefully you know this off the top of your head, how much charge does the battery motor come with out of the box, and how many cycles should it be able to achieve?
Can you just repeat the question? Sorry, I just unmuted you.
You're good. How much charge does a battery motor come with out of the box? How many cycles should it be able to achieve?
Okay, so the motor comes 70% charged. So you should get 9 months out of that rechargeable battery motor. We always advise that you charge the battery motors before you install them anyway. So they're fully charged before you go out and install. The worst thing is to just hand over to the customer and tell them to charge the motors. So I would always charge up, sort of overnight beforehand, but you'll get about 9 months out of that. And like Simon said earlier, between 12 and 18 months from a full charge. When the battery does run flat, it takes about 5 hours to charge it up fully once again. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yes.
I might interject just there for a second, if I might.
Mm-hmm.
It's true that you don't need to. You actually don't need to charge it because of the amount of charge that's in it. But it's always recommended, and the customer's initial experience will be the longest and the best experience. But if I'll just point out that the motor, once it does stop, once the charge is depleted, the motor will tell you that it needs charge because it will flash red. It may have stopped moving, but it will flash red. But if you plug in your charger, you'll be able to operate that motor within about 5 or 10 minutes. There will be enough charge in it if you need to get it up or down, and then yes, you can leave it to charge for its full period of time. But it will be usable within a few minutes.
Awesome. Very cool. And I just wanted to get this in. I know that we have 2 more minutes left, and I want to respect everybody's time as much as possible. I want to give a special thank you again to our friends at Shading and Automation Solutions, IFAI and IWCE. Thank you so much for your help. Any last things that you would like to add, David, before we tell our friends goodbye? And of course, all of you joining, we will be contacting you soon. We'd love to find ways to get creative with you in helping your business grow. So David, last remarks? You're on mute. All good. There you go.
Nice trick.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, good. And I've got nothing else to say. Just thankful for everyone coming on board. It's obviously taken a lot of their time up. It's very early in some parts of Australia. It's very late in some parts of America and Canada. So just really appreciate your time. Look forward to the opportunity to meet a lot of you face to face one day. Obviously, hopefully the restrictions and whatnot change soon. And, I'm here as a friend with everybody. If anybody wants to reach out personally, business advice, friendships, whatever, just reach out. It's life's short, life's fragile, man. Just make the most out of it. And we hope to work together and see where we can take motorization together. So thanks, guys. Nothing else to say, but thank you very much.
Thank you all. Have a great day. Have a great week. Have a great year. Have everything great. Cheers. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.